Okay, so we've logged into the MedEntry account. You can look for the mock that I'm gonna do by finding your mock that's labeled Q77. So the code for it will be Q77. You should be able to find that on your MedEntry account. So let's hit attempt. Before we begin, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, MedEntry, a UCAT preparation platform that I personally recommend. MedEntry's platform is built around a powerful feedback and review system. After each practice session, you're given detailed insights into your performance, timing breakdowns, and error logs so you can identify exactly where and how to improve. What sets MedEntry apart is the skills trainers, adaptive tools designed to target core cognitive skills tested in the UCAT. These aren't just question banks. They're focused, scientific drills to sharpen your reasoning ability over time. The mobile app, available on both iOS and Android, is also a unique feature. It lets you practice on the go with full access to your progress, performance analytics, and even video lessons. Speaking of lessons, the Learn section includes an extensive library of videos by Dr. An, who explains each subtest with clarity and depth. Finally, MedEntry has a tool called My, which, as the name suggests, it's an AI system that analyzes your patterns across practice sessions and offers personalized recommendations on what to focus on next. If you're serious about mastering the UCAT, I genuinely believe that MedEntry offers one of the most advanced evidence-based systems available today. Let's get back into our video. So the strategy that I'm gonna follow is that I will try to answer all of the questions, aim for full marks. Okay, so the strategy that I'm gonna follow is that I'm just gonna try to solve pretty much all of the questions and attempt to gain as many marks as possible. So let's get started. Don't have anything else to say. So the table shows. So 2 afternoon performances. The answer is 80 plus 150, 230 times 250, 2 times 15, 30, so it's 260. 1 is D. Magician. So it's 14 times 45. That's same as saying 7 times 90. So that's 630. 10 times 13 is 130. So it's 760. 760 we add those two. 760 plus 2 times 18 is 36. 796. So 796. So it's 450, and divide that by 50, so it's 9. 2 is E. Musicians for evening, so 360, so 3 times 60 is 180. Okay, so it's 180 and 360 is obviously 50%, so that's A. Actor, 2 to 3. So afternoon to evening 2 to 3 ratio, 20 performances. How much money did he receive for his work? So it's 2 times 50 is 100, 3 times 70 is 210, so it's 310 times 4. So 310 times 4 is, okay, let's do 310 times 4. Yeah, so it's D. So it's 26.5 times 2, because it's 200 kilometers and this is per 100, and then we add, so it's again per 100, so we need 2 times the $2, so it's 53 times 53 plus 4 is 57, so 5 is C. How much money? Okay, so this will require many calculations, so let me do it quickly. So it's 2500 times 200 times, so it's 0.7 times 65. So writing that number down, 22,750,000. Okay, and then 2000 times 70 times 53, really. So 53 so it's, yeah, so it's 53, so it's 7,420,000. so the difference is around 15 million, so it should be D. How much more is earned per plane traveling on route C compared to route D? Okay, so it's 4,000, no, 140 times 1.4 times 21, so it's 140 times 1.4 times 2150, so it's 4,214, and then it's just 120 times 19.75, so it's 2370. Subtract that from the original is 4214 minus 2370, so the answer is E, so 7E. So it's 20 on weekdays plus 12 for the weekend, so it's 32 times 52 weeks in 1 year times 350, so that's 582,400, and then we just do 4,000 times 140 is so subtract this from what we found before, and the answer should be it says 22,400, right? Okay, so it's A. Okay, of the total number of people who are in the restaurant, ordered salad, of those who ordered salad, one they had Italian dressing on the salad, people in the restaurant who didn't have salad also didn't have Italian dressing. So let's find the ones that had Italian dressing, so it's 2/3 times 1/3, so it's 2/9. So subtract this from 1, you get 7/9 times t, so it's 7/9 t's. So the price is 20% of the original price, but so let's say the final number we're looking for is 80, and this is the original price, so let's call it X, and you did 0.85 times that and 0.8, so the market price, let's say we're 0.8 and 0.85, so you just to 0.85 times 0.8, so it's 0.68, and we divide 80 by that, and we get 117.65, so 10 is C. Which make of the car generates the most revenue? Okay, so we just multiply this for each one, So okay, so if I compare the first and the fifth one, they're very similar. Only Volkswagen is greater because Ford is greater than 35, and the other two are the same. So we'll eliminate Hyundai. We can compare Toyota and Ford. We see that Ford is greater, so we'll eliminate Toyota. We can compare Mercedes with Ford. So think of 90 as 45 times 2 and use that to multiply 10 by that. So 10 times 2 is 20. So they are the same. This one's greater. This one is greater for Ford. So Ford is greater than Mercedes. So it's either Volkswagen or Ford. So I'm going to just write them down, type them to perform the calculation for these two. So it's, well, 40 times 40 is 1600 times 25 is 40,000, and then for 40 is 50 times 35 times 20, 35,000. So Volkswagen is the correct answer because it was 40,000. A quarter of the blue shirt, so 15. 2/3 of the green one, so 48. 48 plus 15 is 63. Yes, it's 63. So 12 is E. The bevel busy. Okay, what is the total GDP in CTA? Okay, so I'm gonna do it 4.94 times 7. Yeah, 348. Okay, so it's D. 13 is D. What percentage of total tourist TCDB came from areas other than that? Okay. CTB. So in international. So it was like 4.1 divided by 15.2. So it's 27%, right? So 14 is 27%, so it's B. What are the chances of picking a tourist at random that went to the CBD shopping center? Out of all that have visited CTA. Okay, so it's 5.6. Divide that by 13.9. 13.9. So it's 40%. Yeah, it should be 40%. Okay. 37% of domestic tourists in CTA happen to actually originate from CDB. So 30% of domestic tourists in CTA happen to domestic tourists. So that's 0.37 times 11. So it's that number. Okay. What percentage of total tourists in CTA came from CDB? So it's that divided by 13.9, was it? Yeah, 13.9. So it's 29%. So it's A. Okay. What percentage of left-leaning responded with very important? Very important. So it's, we just add them. So 347 times 105 times 58 plus 22 is 80 plus 9, so plus 89. So it's 541. %. So 17 is D. So so 0.369 times 634 okay, so this is like 234 4, so which two, if I add, they come up to 4, so 8 plus 6 is 4, so 140 plus 8 to 20 plus 14 to 34. Yeah, so it's these two, so it's not sure and unimportant, not sure and unimportant. Yeah, okay, so it's C. I think it's C. Right leaning voters, so we're working here, very unimportant, this one, suddenly converted to being left leaning voters. Half of these converted group kept their original opinion, so very unimportant, of left leaning. So it's 49, I think it was, okay, I don't remember it, so let's just add it. So I think it was 541, but anyway, so 15 plus 58 plus 22 plus 9, okay, yeah, so I was right. And then we add 98 to that, so plus 98, so it's 639. I'm gonna write that down, 639, and we add 49 plus 9 is 58, and we divide that by 639 is 0.9, so it's 9% basically, 9%, yeah, so it should be 9%. A third of all right-leaning voters who voted for important, right-leaning voted for important, 135 divided by 3 is 45, so it's 45 people from here, converts to unimportant, so plus 45 here. 30% of the right-leaning voters will remain, so it was 90 people remaining. 30% of that is 27 people. Quite not sure. Okay, so I'm getting confused. Okay, how many voters across both right and left-leaning groups are now of the opinion not sure? So it's okay. So it's 100. So it's 27 that we have there plus 148 plus not sure is plus 58. Okay, so it's 58 times plus 27 plus 148, 233 is the answer B. Moving on. Okay, we need to rush. See from time, so the flow diagram below is shown. How many codes did warehouse A receive from the factory? Okay, so warehouse A received from the factory, so it's 1/5 of 40,000 is 8,000. What percentage of all the codes produced were distributed directly to store A? Directly to store A from the factory. So these are here. So this was 8,000, and then 40% of 8,000 is 3,200, and then you have 0.4 times 40,000, so this is 60,000, and we take 30% of that times 0.3, 4,800 plus 3,200 that we have before, so it's 8,000, so so it's 8,000, so 2,000 is left here, so it's 2,000 out of 40,000, so what percentage of all codes? So 2,000 out of 40,000 is like saying 2 over 40, 1 over 20, so 1 over 20 is 5%, so gonna go 22A. All the codes distributed from the factory to warehouse B, so we said it was 16,000, okay, were either red or blue in color, and the ratio of the number of red codes distributed to the number of blue codes distributed was 3 to 2, so red to blue. Okay, how many blue codes did warehouse B receive from the factory? So it's 16,000 divided by 5, and then times, so which one? So how many blue ones? So red to blue, so times 2, so it's 6,400. So 23, we're going with C. The total number of codes that were distributed from warehouse A to store B made up 25% of the number of products that store B had. Okay, I'm reading again. The total number of codes that were distributed from warehouse A, so 8,000, to store B, 60% of that, so let's do that. 60% of 8,000 is 4,800. So 4,800 codes were distributed from warehouse A to store B and made up 25% of the number of products that store B had in stock. So how many products did store B have in stock? Okay, so it's 4 times that, so it's 19. Yeah, so it's it. Peter purchased 14 new baseball cards for his collection. This increases the size of his collection by 35%. How many baseball cards? Okay, so the way I'm doing this is I'm saying 14 cards is 35%. How much is 100%? So I'm doing 100 cross multiplication, so 100 times 14 divided by 35, 40. And how many baseball cards does Peter have now? So it's 40 plus 14 is 54 cards. Okay, in a certain shop, notebooks that normally sell for 59 cents each are on sale at 2 for 99 cents. So we are saving, so it's 118 minus 99, so it's 19 cents per 2 books. How much can be saved by purchasing 18 of these notebooks? So it's 9 times 19, so 9 times 19 is 171. Okay. Shaded region in each of the 4 shaded, they are rectangles. Okay, at a point. So it's 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24. Yeah, so 24 plus 9 is 33. Okay, and then 9 over 33. So 9 over 33 is the same as saying 3 over 11. Yeah, so see. Three 40 suitcases in January. February the shop sold 30 fewer, so 0.7 times 340, so 238 in February. In March the shop sold 20% more suitcases, so 340 times 1.2, so it's 408. How many more suitcases were sold in March than in February? So it's 408 minus 238, so it's 170 suitcases more. 29. Okay, so I'm gonna be dividing the black with the gray, so and the greatest value I'm getting is the answer. So here 90 over 75, so 90 is 6 times 15, and 75 is 5 times 15, so 6 over 5 is like saying 1 over 2. So 85 over 68 is the same as, so 68 is 4 times 17, and the difference is 17, so 85 minus 68 is 17, and I'll know that 17 is a multiple of both, so it's 5 times 17 is 85, 4 times 17 is 68, so this is 5 over 4, so it's 1.25, so it cannot be test 1. This one, I don't, so it's 18, their difference, 18 is only multiple of 62, so let's drop this one. Well, these two seem too small, so I'm not gonna test them, so I guess I'm comparing test 2 with test 3, so 80 over 62 is 1.29, which is greater than 1.25 that we found here, so the answer is test 3. If test 4 was out of 130 marks, test 4 130 marks, okay, what was the difference in marks between Sam and the class average? So 92 minus 79, it's 13, so 13 marks out of 100. How many out of 130? So we are doing 130 times 13, divide that by 100, it's 16.9, so it's 17 marks. Okay, I need to rush. Okay, some scored the highest mark in the class on test 1. Okay, what would the new average of the class for test 1 if somebody? Okay, so it's 750. 75 times 10 is 750. 750 minus 90 is 660. Divide that by 9, 73.3. Okay, if both test 2 and test 1 score 120 marks, what would the difference be between sums of scores across these two tests? So 85 minus 80 is 5, so it's 5 out of 100. What would be if it's out of 120? So this is times 20, so 120 over 20, it's 6. Yeah, it's 6. So A. Okay, last one. Yeah, okay. So stadium. So it's 15 kilometers away from the stadium. So it's taxi C. So it's it's 30.95 and 2 times 1.5, so it's 46.43. Okay, so I'm gonna try trial and error. So it's 100, so we add these two is 135 times 10, so it's 13.5 plus 1.5, so that's 15, so it's wrong. 0.25 plus 1.05 is 130. 130 times 10, 1.3 is times 10 is 13 plus 175 is 1475, which is what I'm looking for. Taxi B is a good answer. Okay, Greg and the kids take taxi back to the city for dinner. Taxi is running. Okay, so so it's 20.32. Divide that by 0.85 is this. Okay, and then okay, I'm guessing. Guess C. Whatever. Okay, so I didn't have time to solve the last two questions. Okay, we still got 99 percentile, which is great. So okay, I'm gonna create a separate video where I'm gonna go over these questions, the ones that I think have something to give us, so a lesson to be taught from, and there I'll be expressing my thoughts more carefully with more time, so you will have more to gain from that video, so I'll recommend watching that. Thanks for watching, and again, thank you to Medentry for sponsoring this video and allowing me to use their site for free. I'll see you on the next video.